Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If y'all doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I pray you are having a great day and a great week so far. And y'all, let's catch up. Let's catch up with each other. First things first. I want to say thank you to everyone who reached out to me after listening to the last episode. It really means a lot that you guys care and are genuinely invested in what I got going on and genuinely care about me and my kids and just sent lots of love and support. So I really appreciate that. And it helped way more than you know. So thank you so much. If you haven't listened to the last episode, go ahead and listen to that. Second thing is we're back to the old layout setup angle for just temporarily because I do want to get a new camera. Before I was recording off of my phone, but my phone is turning out to not be like it's great recording on my phone, but like in the last episode I lost visuals and I couldn't really tell that I lost visuals. And then also too, I lost visuals because my phone overheated while I was recording. So if my conversation tends to last a little longer than 30 minutes, then I don't want to run into that issue again where I lose visuals. So we're back to this angle for right now until I can get a new camera. And then we'll be back to our old angle on the couch, conversational chit chat instead of across the desk type of thing. But that's that. And then also too, y'all, your girl just turned 40. Your girl had a birthday on June 23rd, and I'm 40 now. Amen. Um, I thought about doing an episode called Chapter 40 and just kind of like going over some realizations and reflections since entering into this milestone year. And I think I might still do that, but just as a little like quick note. Yeah, so far 40 is cool. I'm only a week in. At the time this is being recorded, I'm only a week in, but 40 definitely looks different than what I thought it would. If you would have told me 10 years ago when I turned 30 that by the time I was 40, I would be a widow. I would be single. I would be a single mom. I would be a homeowner, and I would be, navigating life without my dad, without my brother. I would be laid off from my job, um, in a new job in a whole different field, all the things. Like I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have trusted God. I wouldn't have did any of that stuff. I probably would have curled up in a corner and cried. Um, but 40 definitely looks different than what I imagined it to be. But at the same time, it's beautiful. And so many beautiful things are happening right now. So again, I'll probably do a separate episode on that. But for right now, today's episode, mamas, I'm so glad that you're here because I was on the motherhood streets. I was doing some research to see what are the girlies talking about? What are moms struggling with right now? what are some hot button topics, challenges, anything that I maybe could provide help with and lend my knowledge, experience towards to help the next mom. And I am spying with my little eye that you guys are wanting to know how to save money. You guys are wanting to get better at saving money, especially as a mother, single mothers out there are wanting tips and tricks on how to save money. And I'm so glad. Amen. I'm so glad that um, we are all coming to the realization that no one is coming to save us when it comes to this financial game, when it comes to money, like no one is coming to save us. So we're going to have to save ourselves or at least do our best to make sure that if the worst happens, whatever that looks like for you, that financially we are okay. Financially, our kids are okay. And we will be good for a period of time. And I know, and I knew even before I got laid off from my job that having like a backup plan, emergency fund, stuff like that was important and I needed to have it, which I did have it, but it wasn't nearly enough to cover like if like I really wanted to just chill for a while and like take a legit break and really take my time looking for another job. Um, it wasn't enough. So right now, currently, I'm doing what I need to do right now to make sure that if this ever happens again, because like it could happen at any job, any job, anything like that, whether you're in corporate America, not in corporate America, running your own business, whatever the case may be, it could happen. So I'm doing what I got to do right now to make sure that if the worst happens again, then I'm okay. My kids are okay. I can still be able to pay my bills, stuff like that. Also, too, you might want to be saving for Christmas. Christmas is in 6 months, y'all. And you already know you want to get the kiddies all the things and you want to get yourself the things, friends, family. So now would be a good time to start saving for that. We got kids activities coming up if they do winter activities or all year round activities, all that stuff. Kids in high school, money, the high schools, they all want money for something. If they're in sports, you got a graduate coming, you senior fees, all the things that come with that. There's so many reasons that we could be wanting to save money at this point in time. And I'm glad that you're here if you're listening, because I do have a few tips and tricks I can share with you what works for me. And also too, um, I did a video back in 2025, which I will link in the cards above me. And I think it was titled Getting Our Money Right in 2025 or Getting Our Money Together in 2025. I was dropping gems in that video. So if you want to, after you listen or watch this video, you can go to that one too, because I'm probably going to be repeating some of the same things from that video in this video because it's all relevant. It's all still important for saving money and building good money saving habits. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Amen. Okay, mama. So you guys already know I got my handy dandy iPad. I done took notes for y'all. Amen. Um, so we're going to be going over some practical steps, practical ways to start saving money. No matter what you're saving money for, no matter what your goal is, this is going to get you started. This is going to get you a step ahead of anyone else trying to do this without this advice. Amen. And again, this works for me. Feel free to tweak any of this information however you see fit. And if you feel like something different might work for you, great, good. Just as long as we're getting the conversation started and we're getting our mindset wrapped around saving money and being diligent about saving money, That's all I want for you. Amen. That's all I hope for. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I would suggest if you're wanting to get better at saving money is first you got to get clear on your money goals. What is your savings goal? And what are you saving for? What is your why? So that's important because if you don't have a goal and you don't have a why, and you're just like putting money away, putting money aside, you're more inclined to spend that money if it doesn't have a meaning behind it, or it doesn't have a job or a specific task assigned to it. So the goal is important. So again, are you saving for a rainy day, like an emergency fund in case the worst happens? Are you saving for fees for your kids, school fees, sports fees? Are you saving for a trip? Are you saving for house renovations? Are you saving to buy a house? Are you saving to buy a car? Anything like that. Get clear on the why of what you're saving for. Amen. Because you want to be able to track that progress, and once you get to the goal, know exactly like, okay, this money is for this, and you just have it and you're ready to spend it on whatever it is you save for. And so that way it's not going towards anything else. So get clear on your money goals. With goals too, what's the time frame? How long are you giving yourself to save this money? Is it going to be like a lifelong savings, like an account that you just add money to in perpetuity, where you just don't stop, or does it have a limit? Um, and then by how many months is it going to take you, or weeks is it going to take you to save? How many paychecks? So what I like to do is I have a number in my mind. Like I have the big number in my mind. And what I do is I divide that by the amount of months in a year. So I divide that by 12. So that lets me know how much money I have to save in 1 month. And then that 1 month number, I divide that by 2. Seeing as though like I get 2 paychecks in a month, how much out of those 2 paychecks I would need to save in order to get to that month number. So, and you can do that in different ways. So if you get paid every week, then you divide that month number by 4. Or if you only get paid once a month and you're using your monthly number, like however you need to split it up and divide it. And so that way you get to that smaller number. So that way you know, okay, each paycheck I gotta save this. So that way by the end of the month I have this. And then by the end of the year I will have this. So that's how I like to do it. And so that way I get a number. If at any time I get more money, or like unexpected money, whoop-de-doo, that is great. I do allocate that to a portion of the savings, so that way I can be like one step ahead in case like there is a month where it's like, oh, like I came up short, or I had to spend this month out of my savings. Then at least like with that unexpected money, I had a little bit of cushion. But that's not the plan. That's not the goal. The goal is to not spend what we save until we're ready to spend it on whatever we're saving for. Amen. So get clear about the goal, get clear about the number, get clear about the timeline, and get clear about the why. What are you saving for? Amen. Okay, so the next thing we have is review your spending. Amen. So what that means is pulling up your bank statement, looking at how you spend your money. What are you spending your money on? Your transactions. And then also too, after you do that, categorize those transactions. So what are you spending on bills? What are you spending on expenses? What are you spending on food, eating out? What are you spending on self-care? All that stuff you want to categorize. Once you have that categorized, you want to look at your highest spending categories. So when it comes to bills, a lot of those bills for us, some of them are fixed. So like they're either the exact same amount every month or around the same amount every month. And there's really nothing you can do about it unless like you have something like where, you can lower your car insurance or lower your phone bill. Um, find ways to save, but majority, you can't negotiate bills. So, those are kind of fixed in every month type thing. So that's fine. If you can find ways to save on bills, by all means do that. Um, so with bills, that's that. So when it comes to expenses though, so expenses could be like if you go get like a monthly car wash, or if you pay for self-care like nails, hair, haircuts, stuff like that, like your monthly expenses, gas, food, all that stuff. That's not necessarily a bill. So you want to categorize those as well and see where you could save money. Subscriptions. Okay. So all those subscriptions that you might not be using, you could be saving money on if you just cancel. Amen. So looking and reviewing your finances is going to give you the most accurate representation of where your money is going, how you're spending your money. And that's important because you need to know where your dollars are going, where all your money is. So that way, if you need to pull back in some areas, then you can. If you see that like you Zelle your brother like 5 times in a month and like it's like $250, like you might want to have a conversation with bro and be like, hey, but we'll get to that in a later part of the episode. But but reviewing and seeing like where you stand as far as your money and where your money goes is crucial, and you do need to know that so that way you know where you can cut back, cancel, dial it back to where you can save money. And the second important thing about reviewing your finances is once you do find those pockets of where you can save money, then once you do that, that money that you would have spent on that expense or that thing, that's what you put into your savings because you were already spending the money, right? You were already like dishing it out for the thing that you didn't need. So how about you just give that money a different job? Redirect that money to savings. And the only way that you'll know that you could do that is if you look. You have to look at your transactions. You have to look at those bank statements. And I know for some of us it could be scary. It could definitely be scary because we don't want to put the mirror to ourselves and see like we might be the problem. And I get it. I definitely get it because when I did it, when I decided that I wanted to buy a house and I really needed to start saving money. When I did it, I found out that my biggest spending category was food. And that was aside from grocery shopping. It was like the eating out and the getting like snacks and stuff at work. Like that was my biggest spending category. So I knew that I had to dial it back when it came to eating out and just eat at home. Cook the groceries that I bought. Amen. And for you, it could be something different. Whatever it is, whatever that money that you were using that like you find that like, you know what? I really don't need to spend money on this anymore. Reallocate it. Give it a different job. So that way it's going towards something that you're actually going to use that's actually going to be helpful. Amen. So the next thing that's going to help you save money is creating a budget. Amen. So just a quick recap. So first, we're getting clear about our money goals. What are we saving for? How much time do we have are we giving ourselves to save for it? And what's our why? Why are we doing it? The next step is to review our finances, see what our highest spending categories are and see where we can dial it back and reallocate that money to our savings. And the next thing where we're at right now is create a budget. So saving money isn't going to help you if you don't have a budget. So there are lots of different budgeting methods, and I will list them in the show notes. I will have them in the description on YouTube, but there are lots of different budgeting methods. The method that I use and that is the most helpful for me is zero-based budgeting. And what that is that the money that I get for the month, I make sure that each dollar, each dollar has a job. It's doing something. And when I have my total number of money that I'm getting for the month, I make sure that at the end of it, I'm down to zero. And zero meaning not meaning like I don't have any more money. It's just zero to the point where like all the bills are taken care of, all the money that I was going to allocate to savings is there, all the money that I'm allocating to expenses is there. And then the extra stuff, like if I want to go get my nails done, my hair done, my feet done, if my kids need to get their hair done, every dollar has a job. There's no money in my account that's just out there willy-nilly with nothing to do. So every dollar is doing something. And the most important part about a budget is you have to budget for saving. So it can't be like, okay, well, once all my bills are paid, then if I have anything left over to save, then that's what I'll put in my savings. Because there may be a month where you don't have anything left to save. So it's important to include your savings in your budget. So if you know for the month that you're going to have $3,000 for the month, so your budget should include your living expenses, so rent, utilities, bills, all that stuff. It should include your expenses, groceries, gas, and anything else that's an expense for you monthly. And it should also include your savings. So how much money out of that $3,000 are you putting towards saving? And at the end of it, that should be a part of the monthly thing that you take care of. It shouldn't be like well, after I pay everything, then let's see. It should be a part of that. And your after that let's see money could be something different, like splurging or a trip to the mall or something like that. But saving should be one of the priorities. It should be just like a bill, just like something you take care of every month. And the good thing about creating a budget and sticking to it is that for the majority of your bills and expenses, like you can automate that. And you can automate your savings, which we will touch on as well, because that's really going to help you save is if it's automated. And if you know yourself and you know that you physically moving money yourself from a checking to a savings account, like you're not going to stay on top of it, then automating it would be your best friend when it comes to that. And the final thing that I will say about creating a budget is you gotta stick to it. Amen. You have to stick to your budget or else it will not work. You will be spending money willy-nilly and you won't have anything saved. You'll be robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you need to create a budget and you need to stick to it. And also, too, creating a budget will help you to understand whether you have I don't make enough money problem or I have a spend too much problem. So that's going to help you determine too whether like you need to pick up a side gig or ask for that raise or work overtime. Or it's going to help you realize like, dang, I spend way too much money. I have enough money to cover my bills and expenses, but I'm still coming up short or in the negative at the end of the month because I'm spending too much money on other things. So a budget will help you to realize that. It'll help you to realize where your money is going in addition to reviewing your finances. Amen. So this all works together. I promise you. I promise you this all works together for your greater good. So if you just do these things, like it's going to help you and it's going to help you to save. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to check our money habits. And when I say check, I mean check ourselves. If you know that you spend money when you're stressed or you're angry, check that. Okay? Check that hoe. Make sure you get that under control by any means necessary. If you know that you spend too much money on like gift giving, you need to figure out a way to dial that back. Like I said, like my vice was spending money on food when I have food at home just for the convenience of it, not having to come home after work and cook, stuff like that. So I had to get creative and find different ways so that way when I came home, I didn't have to cook, but we were still eating at home. So that meant getting up a little bit early to prep dinner before I left for work. So that way all I had to do when I got home from work is heat it up. Then that's what that meant. Or it could have meant like making sure that I meal plan for the week. So I've already planned out what we're going to eat for the week. So I'm not sitting thinking like, oh, what are we going to have for dinner? You know what? Forget it. Let's just go eat out. Like I had to do the things to make sure that like I broke that habit of just going to get something quick. And we all know, especially if you have multiple kids, like going out to McDonald's isn't what it used to be like for all the kids. And my kids don't eat Happy Meals anymore. They eat full size value meals, large. They eat all that. So a trip to McDonald's for all four of us is anywhere between $40 to $50. So yeah, that had to stop. And don't even get me started on restaurant visits for all four of us. We're spending 100 plus. So yeah, so I had to get that in check. So check your money habits. If you know you have bad habits with money, then you need to start researching or looking for ways to deal with that now. Amen. Because it's only going to hurt you in the long run. And I would probably suggest like building or creating or getting like a habit tracker so that way you could track your habits daily to make sure you're doing them. So if one of your habits is getting vending machine snacks at work and you want to decrease the amount of vending machine snacks that you get, put it on your habit tracker. So if the habit is you spend too much on snacks and you want to break that habit, then what are we going to do? What habit are we going to put in place of that? So anytime we want to get a snack, like, are we going to take a quick walk? Are we going to drink water? Like, what are we going to do to track the better habit to get us out of that bad habit? So making sure that we acknowledge the bad money habits that we have and then addressing those habits. That's the only way this is going to work. Like, and there may be times where we backslide, we're not perfect. We're only human. So sometimes, the flesh, gets the best of us and we want to spend. That's okay. But as long as we recognize, okay, I spend way too much money. Like I let my temptations get the best of me. Let me address that and come up with a plan for next time so that way if this happens again, then I'm better equipped. I know what I need to do to overcome it. So this is all like a progress thing. This is not an overnight thing. This is going to take time, especially if you aren't used to having like a savings plan or putting money away to save like on a consistent basis. This is going to take time for you to be able to build this, like these habits. It's going to take time for you to build them. But as long as you're willing to put in the work and put in the time and effort, then I promise you it will yield you the results that you're looking for. Okay, so next let's talk about the savings account itself. So what I mentioned before about automating your savings. So what I do is I allocate a certain amount of my paycheck to direct deposit to my savings account every paycheck. So, you know how when you set up direct deposit with your job, you can tell them the accounts that you want your money to go to. And then you could also say, like, if you want a specific dollar amount or a percentage of your paycheck to go to whatever accounts, do that. I've been doing that for pretty much, I think I've been doing that for the last 3 years, I want to say. And I started off small at first. First, I started with $50 a paycheck. Actually, I was doing $50 a paycheck for a while, more than 3 years. Where I would have $50 go to, like, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with NetSpend. NetSpend was like before like Cash App and Chime and stuff like that. Like NetSpend is like the OG prepaid card service, like kind of like a Rush card but better. So I had a NetSpend account and I would have $50 every paycheck go to that NetSpend account. And basically what that was for was just like if I wanted like fun money. So if I wanted to treat myself, to a meal or um I wanted to buy myself something nice. That was just like my fun money, just like to F off. So $50 of my paycheck would go to that. And that came in clutch on the days like where maybe I was at work and I wanted to buy myself lunch. I could buy myself lunch and not have to dip into my bill money. And it could be something as simple as that. So I started with $50 a paycheck. So about $100 a month to 150 depending on if I got paid 3 times that month into that account. And I also used it for like my subscriptions and stuff. So the little subscriptions that I had, I would use it for that too. And then I graduated to $100 a paycheck when as I would get raises, I was like, okay, I could put away $100 a paycheck. So sometimes that meant $200 or $300 a month that I was saving. And now I'm at $200 a paycheck that I save every month, and it's automated. So even before my paycheck hits my main account, like my bill account, there's already $200 going to my savings that I don't even have to touch. I don't have to worry about trying to move it. It's automated. So if you can, through your job, set that up to where you have a certain amount of your paycheck that goes to your main account or wherever you pay your bills and expenses from, and then you set it up to where you have a certain dollar amount that goes towards a savings account, then I would highly, highly suggest that you do that, because the more out of sight, out of mind it is, the better you're going to be with actually saving it. Also too, while we're talking about accounts, I do use a online high yield savings account for my savings. So basically it's not with my main account. So my main account is with a major bank, and that's where like I spend like for my bills and expenses and stuff, but my savings account is no way linked to my checking account with the bank that I bank with, because I don't want to be able to move the money easily from my savings to my checking account to spend it. So I have a debit card for my checking account, but I have a separate bank, separate everything from my savings account. And although I have a card for that savings account, like a debit card, I don't carry it with me. So that way I'm not tempted to spend it if I'm out or anything like that. The money that I have on me is the money that I have on me. And if that money is allocated to something else, then I'm not spending it. I'm exercising my restraint and my control not to spend it because I know I didn't budget for it. So that's how I do it. And my high yield savings account is with SoFi. And it's an online banking company, banking institution. Um, and for my account, what makes it high yield is that it gives you back interest on the amount that you have saved in there. So right now, I think mine is at I think it's at 3.5% annual percentage yield. So I get 3.5% back on anything, any dollar amount that's in that account every month. And it pays me the interest every month. So the more that I save, the more interest that I earn on what I save. So that's just extra money. That's just extra money in your pocket. So, and then with my major financial institution, that's where the majority of my paycheck goes. And then that's where like I have my checking account. So that's where my bills come out of, all that stuff. That's where my auto pay and everything for all my bills is. So my savings account and my high yield account is out of sight, out of mind. The only time that I check that account is quarterly because I have a quarterly savings planner that I created myself on Canva and I use it myself. And I'm hoping to one day sell that as a digital product for all you mamas or daddies out there. But I use a quarterly savings tracker to track my savings quarterly because I have a goal that I want to reach at the end of the year. And I'll probably share like how I do that on my Instagram and my TikTok. So stay tuned for that. But I use a planner and each week I'm adding like what I add into my savings every week. I also note and document like any challenges I may have had if I had to spend out of that. So like what I'm saving for is like emergency. So that's my savings thing and that's my why and that's what I'm doing it for. So this is going to be a savings that goes in perpetuity. So I'm always going to be adding to this savings account. I have a yearly number that I want to hit every year, but as far as like the ultimate goal, like I just want as much money in there as possible and I want to keep adding money in there just in case an emergency comes up. Um so that's my goal and that's my why. So each quarter I have it like, okay, I need to, for each month I need to save this amount of money so that way by the end of the quarter I have this. So and I break down my savings per week. So each week I'm dropping a certain amount of money into my savings account, and then at the end of the quarter, I kind of reflect what challenges I had, what were some successes, can I add more money? Like, should I dial it back? And then I move on to the next quarter. So right now we just started quarter three. And so far for week 1 of July, I got an unexpected amount of money. So that immediately went to savings because it was money that I didn't budget for. So it was just extra. So I put that immediately into that savings account because I like it was money that I wasn't expecting anyway. So put it out of sight, out of mind. It's in the savings account, it's doing what it needs to do. So when it comes to accounts, you're going to want to do what works best for you. So if a high yield savings account is something that you're interested in, I will also link some in the show notes as to which ones are the best. Like I said, I use SoFi and I really like it. And I've been using it now. I think I've been with SoFi for the last 2 years and I love it. And I also love my bank too. My financial institution, love them down. So just do whatever works best for you. I know some people like do like bill accounts and they do like fun money accounts and then they have their savings account. So they have like multiple accounts that and money goes into it. Whatever works for you, do that and do your research too. Because I could tell you all day long what I do, but if that doesn't work for you, then you have to find what does work for you. It is going to take a little bit of effort. It is going to take a little bit of research on your part, but I promise you in the end, like it's going to be so worth it because whatever you're saving for, whatever your why is, you're going to feel so accomplished, so proud, and so fulfilled when you actually get to that number that you're saving for, hands down. So just make sure that whatever you're saving, whatever accounts you have set up, like the system is working for you and not against you. Amen. Okay, and now we're going to get into a hot topic subject. mamas, if you're the type of mom that likes to be the ATM for her family, her friends, just anyone who may be asking you for money and you're the yes woman, yes man, and you just give, give, give. Um, if it's interfering with your money goals, with the goals that you have for yourself, goals that you have for your family, for your children, if it's interfering with any of that at all, then you need to stop being the ATM. You have to stop being the ATM because it's not benefiting you, to give your money and, you know, it's only benefiting the other person. And sometimes it might not even be benefiting the person. You might be a crutch to that person. And now they depend on you. So every time that they want something, then like they know that they can come to you. And that's not okay. For some of us, it might be okay. But for a lot of us, it isn't okay. Especially when we're trying to save our money and we're trying to make sure that our household is okay. So it's okay to say no, even to family, even to friends, even to kids. It's okay to say no. Um, one thing that I've adopted, I don't know if it's like a saying or just like I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I heard someone say it and it just like stuck with me. She said, their emergency is not my emergency. And when I tell you that hit for me because I have my own issues, problems, set of emergencies that I need to deal with, or that maybe I can anticipate and I can plan for. But people will have a tendency to make their emergency your emergency. And it's like they'll call you or say like, oh, I really need this like by this time and I have to do this and that. And, like I need it. It's very important as soon as possible, ASAP. Like, can you do this for me? Like, and all of a sudden now, like, you're feeling the same feelings. Like, you're feeling worried, you're feeling tense, stressed. Like, it needs to happen now, now, now. And it wasn't even your emergency to begin with. Like, you were fine before they called. You were calm, cool, collected before they called. So, you can't make everyone's emergency your emergency. And if what they have going on, it isn't your emergency, you don't have to say yes, even if you do have it to give. And that's one thing that I'm learning myself is even if I do have it to give, I'm not going to give it. If it's going to put me in a bind or set me back from my goals at all, I'm not going to do it. If I'm able to give it and I, one, want to give it, two, am able to give it, and three, it doesn't put me in a financial strain by me doing this, then I might, I might do it, just to help out, but it won't be a reoccurring thing. It won't be an everyday thing, everyday occurrence, every week, every month because I'm not the ATM. I'm not someone that you can come to every month or every day or every week when you need money or you're in a pinch. I'm not that person. Um, and not to say that like I've always like stood on business with that because I haven't. But it is something that I do recognize is and can be an issue for me. So I address it. Feelings might get hurt. People might feel a way. That's okay. Um, one thing my boyfriend always tells me is that they will be okay. Oh, amen. They will be okay. Like they will circle back around. They will talk to you. They won't be mad forever. And if they are, oh well. So so again, depending on your situation, who you got in your circle, like what it is. Like just make sure that if you do give, I'm not telling you not to give or not to help anyone out, but just make sure that it doesn't put you further back from your goal of saving or put you in a bind or put it to where like now you can't save what you were trying to save. And I know it doesn't sound like impactful, but it really is. It truly is. Because if you have a family member that's asking you for $50 every week and you're pulling out of your savings account to give that $50, then that's like you're taking money out of your own pocket. And also too, especially if they're not paying it back, even if they are paying it back, like still like you have the right to say no. If you don't want to give it, if you don't want to be the ATM, then don't do it. Keep your goals in the forefront. Keep your why in the forefront. And I suggest when you determine what your why is, make sure you write it down or post it somewhere where you can see it daily. To remind yourself of why you're doing this. So yeah, don't be the ATM. Okay? Don't be the person that they know that they can come to every time for money when they need it. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Like make sure that you're good before you try making sure everyone else is good. Amen. And then the last thing that I want to say about saving money and helping you to save money is get educated, mamas. Get educated. However you got to do that, whether it's watching YouTube videos, watching money influencers on Instagram. That's how I learned how to save. I found an account on Instagram and it was great because she was a Black woman. Um she was at the time she was single, like she wasn't married yet, but now like she has a husband, she has a child, and I've watched her journey and I've picked up on her tips and tricks and saving and budgeting um habits and all that stuff. And that's how I adopted the zero-based budgeting method that I have. That's how like I learned about high yield savings accounts. That's how I learned that like I don't have a don't make enough money problem. I had a spending problem because I had more than enough money. I just didn't know how to spend wisely and budget wisely. So I learned that all from one person on Instagram. And then that person, like had a network of people. So I started watching and following them. And now we're here. So utilize these social media platforms for your good. It's not just to find out the latest gossip or, what's trending. Like really use it to your advantage because there's people out here dropping gems for the free. Amen. Just like I'm out here dropping gems for the free. So you can soak up all that knowledge and find what works for you. Watching YouTube, reading books. Amen. When we were doing the book club, we had we were reading The Black Girl's Guide to Financial Freedom, I think it was called. So we were reading that book. Books, self-help, anything like that that will help you get to where you want to be, and help you break some of those bad money habits and start getting into good money habits. And then also too, like surrounding yourself with people that are where you want to be as far as like money wise. Like follow those people, watch them. No, you may not have or want the lifestyle that they have, but if they have practical tips and ways for you to save money, then by all means, like go with what works best for you because it's only going to help you in the long run. And above all else, mamas, you really just you have to be diligent with it. You have to stick with it. You got to be serious about it. You have to be serious about it like you're serious about everything else, about how you're serious about not missing an episode of Love Island or whatever y'all are watching these days, because I watch anime. So whatever it is that you're serious about and you made sure to make a priority, this also needs to be a priority. This also needs to be taken serious because anything can happen financially. And I went through it. I'm living proof. I lost my job unexpectedly. Didn't know what I was gonna do future wise. Um, didn't know like how long the money was gonna last or anything like that. So, and it could be something like you could lose a partner, someone who was helping financially. Now you don't have that extra financial support. Like, what is that going to look like? And there's nothing wrong with planning for it. Not to say that it's going to happen tomorrow or like you're wishing the worst on your life, but there's nothing wrong for planning for the future, planning for the worst. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't feel like, well, I don't want to think the worst or wish anything on me, so like I'm not going to plan for it. No, we should plan for it. We should. And just know that once the rainy day comes, like we have an umbrella. Amen. So that's pretty much it, mamas. I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful, please do not forget to share it with another mama who you think would also find it helpful. Also, too, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, to follow me on TikTok at motherhood_ghetto. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please don't forget to follow the podcast so that way you are notified when I upload a new episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, hey mama, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up on YouTube and hopefully monetize YouTube one day, one fine sweet day. And I can only do that with your help. So make sure you like the videos, share it, subscribe to the channel. That would help me so much. But whatever you do, I appreciate anything and everything that you do when it comes to me and this podcast. Thank you again for all the love and support that you guys showed for me on my last episode. I really, truly appreciate it. And if you ever have any questions or want to share any topics on motherhood, feel free to DM me. You can DM me on Instagram. You can DM me on TikTok. You can leave a comment on the podcast on Spotify. You can leave a comment on YouTube. Whatever your heart desires, however the spirit moves you, amen, to reach out to me, you are more than welcome to. And thank you again so much. And until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.